Welcome back to Friday Chat. This is Morning Express, and well, our Friday Chat this morning, I'll introduce, although it is a group that needs no introduction whatsoever, and that is none other than Elani. Good to have you guys here.
Thank you for having us,
Boy, Brian, and Maureen. Sorry.
What do you mean we don't need?
You don't need any introduction. You know, I was literally going through your bio, your profile, the interviews you've done, and I'm like, okay, what new question do I have for you? By the way, I have none. But good to have you guys all the same.
It's good to be here.
What have you been up to?
Good things, big things.
Yeah.
We have recently started to collaborate. I think that's something that our career didn't have. So you could have put that in the intro, where we started to collaborate.
You
with
started
some
doing collabs.
artists.
Of course, we'll talk about that. And I know one collabo, especially for the song that's just played, Darling, had enough. You know, when we see the video, at the end of the day, we think, wow, how easy, how nice. Tell me, how did that go?
The video was an amazing experience for us because we wanted to tell us a love story, a deep love story, and it was about this couple who had an accident. One of them had an accident, then eventually the chick became blind, and now they had to start all over again and love each other from a different angle. And it's such a powerful song because we just want to tell people, nitavumilia, nitakwamilia, bado nakupenda, liwe liwalo, whatever happens, I'm still going to be there, and I'm still going to love you forever, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to go into collabs? I mean, you guys are already a formidable force, just the three of you.
Well, in the beginning, that's how we wanted to start. I remember that's how we wanted to start. And we were so keen on having established artists to collaborate with us on our first song, which is Jana Usiku. But fortunately enough, our mentor advised us to not do that, because what would have happened is that it would have been known as the song that belongs to those guys as opposed to Elani.
So initially you needed to build your name first.
Build the brand.
When they come on board.
It's something that we were always looking forward to do, but unfortunately in the beginning of our careers, we were not able to do so because we were not as established as we are now. And now that we have worked hard and built a brand, now we are able to do the things that we've always wanted to do, and one of the things is to collaborate. And we're fortunate enough that very, very big people who have come before us, the Jaguars and the Chameleons, have been looking at us throughout our whole career, and I've been like, those guys are good. We should do something. And so when we got to meet Chameleon, he shared the same sentiments, and he was like, I mean, you guys are, after having such a long discussion at like 10 p.m. towards midnight, we realized that we wanted the same things. We wanted to leave the same legacy behind, and it's at that point that we decided that we should collaborate, seeing as our journey is kind of like similar. Yeah, let's do something and let it be in the history books that Uganda and Kenya once again.
together.
After how many years?
Like 10.
After
like
10
a
years,
decade.
because the last collaboration.
Don't worry.
Collaborate. Because the last collaboration Chameleon had
Was with
Red
Red
with
Sun.
any Kenyan was with Red Sun, which was 10 years
That's
ago.
a while
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Now, how does it feel when you approach somebody like Chameleon? I don't know who approached who, but when you come to him and
We
he's like,
did.
yeah, I've been watching your music, I've seen your music.
Oh, it was, I think it was very surreal. We met him with no intention of doing a song at all. It was just, he was in Kenya, and we decided, you know what, like Wamboy says, this is a legend. This in itself is a walking legacy.
Yeah.
And we decided to just meet and have a conversation about music and about the Kenyan industry versus the Ugandan music industry. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, he goes, why don't we have a song? We should have a song. And we're like, yeah, we should.
Get a producer here now.
And he said, get a producer here now, to his hotel room, because we'd gone to see him at his hotel. And there and then, we wrote and recorded a
just
song.
took off like that. Because, you know,
Exactly.
Africans
Yeah,
have this tendency to say, why don't we? And it just remains, why don't we?
He
What
said,
actually
why don't
actioned
we
it?
now?
That's exactly
see-
what he said. And in our heads, because that's how it works, us guys were like, okay, so tomorrow you'll tell us how you
Yeah, we'll plan it at some point.
The guy goes like, no, call again now. I'm like, dude, bana, in my head, I can't tell him.
And that's how
In my head, I'm like,
serious
dude,
about
it's
his
1
music.
a.m. What do you mean I call a guy? Who's the guy? Yeah, but we really called
So
guys.
you called your producer,
called
and like
some
they say,
guys.
the rest is history.
Exactly.
How was it now working with him? Did you have to have the song ready, then, you know, bring him in, or how did that work out?
You know, after we chatted for a while, he came up with that idea, and he said, why don't we have a song? And we were like, okay, now which song can we do? Because we have a bank of very many different songs. So My Darling was like the fresh one, nini nini. So we sang it to him, and he was like, that's cool, I like that one, let's do that one. So the
But
producer came.
truly, all we had was 3 lines. We sang 3 lines to him. We didn't. We
Yeah.
had just that.
We just had the chorus.
And he fell in love with that because
Yeah.
he's a creative and he can tell. If something would sound good, he would tell. He has that experience. So he fell in love with the chorus. We were able to do the song. The producer fixed everything. And you know what is surprising is he doesn't write anything down. Like he just stepped in. Okay, DJ, pick me. Producer, pick me. Banana, he starts singing.
And start singing.
So
As
is
in
that
nothing,
talent?
no
Is
prep
that
or-
experience? What's that?
I think
it's
it's just both.
Yeah.
Talent, experience, and just the passion for music, man. It's ridiculous on
With time,
levels, on
with
different
time, you
levels.
get to learn yourself, and you get to learn what works and what doesn't. And if a guy like that who has been singing for what 10, 15 years, he clearly does know how his head is structured. When he's in the right vibe, he knows what to do to get into the right vibe and just fully release and
Unleashes
let
and
go.
just does that.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll come back to the other collabo that you've done with Jaguar in just a bit. But I remember watching an interview, and this is a while back, where actually I think it was you that was saying that, you know, no, first of all, you are being referred to as the new kid in the block, the new group, and I was like, you mean there was a time like that? But anyway, one of the things you mentioned is that at that time you're not getting enough airtime, you're not getting enough gigs. How has that spanned out from that time to now? What would you say? Where are you right now?
Oh, I think that's something that every musician needs to go through. One boy always says, you need to pay your dues. And that's exactly what was happening. We were paying our dues because honestly, and it makes sense, if as soon as our first song, Jana Usiku, came out, if I called you and said, hey, Michael, please, give me an
Have this
interview.
new song.
Of course not, you know, because no one knows us, no one knows anything about us, and you have to make a name for yourself, and you need to form your own identity before you go on to interviews. So I think that was just a time, obviously when you're younger, it's very frustrating to not be able to.
It doesn't
you
make
want
sense.
that
Makes
fame
sense.
now.
You
Yeah,
want
yeah,
it
but
now.
Exactly, and I honestly believe that if we hadn't gone through that, then we wouldn't be able to understand the value of an interview like this and appreciate sitting down with you like this.
Right.
Because honestly, it has changed, definitely. It's easier, for example.
I bet right
to
now
get
you
an
turn down
interview.
interviews.
Then-
And you're like, we're a bit too busy.
Honestly, the only reason we would ever turn on an interview is if we had previously been
Yeah.
booked for something else.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think what it was at the time is just an artist having to pay their dues.
Okay.
Luckily, we are obviously still paying our dues, still
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah,
but,
still a learning
But
curve.
interviews are a little easier
Okay.
to get.
Okay. No, I must admit that at least you're very accessible from a media perspective. There are those who you call and you honestly cannot get through. It's been quite easy to get through. I am editing right here, but anyway, but it's been good. But how would you say that has impacted the fact that it has kept you guys together? If there's a group that I can think of off the top of my head that looks glued together, and not just because you're singing, you're like friends. Even right now, we had to literally separate them because they were
Yeah, we're too far, man. We're too far.
Yeah. So how has that played out in keeping you guys together as a group?
You know, it keeps us grounded because the fact that we've been through all these bittersweet
Experiences.
trials and tribulations, man, it humbles us and it gives us a craving for more, to go to a better level, to keep moving up. And one thing I'd say is, you know, for any artist, if you go up the stairs too quick, you come down too quick. If you don't go through the challenges, you'll come down too quick. So at least now we have, I think, the experience of having it that bad, and now coming together and now keep moving forward. We keep moving forward in the right direction, and the future is just bright. It looks good.
Okay.
We have learnt a lot, and the experience makes us better people.
Do you see yourselves staying together as a group for how long? Or do you see yourselves now going into solo careers? Because one of the things that happens, especially with fame and fortune, is that most groups end up now, everybody finding their own space and thinking, you know what, I also want to have me as an artist, as opposed to just Elani. Do you see
Yeah,
yourself
I
staying
have
together?
I have a solo album coming
Oh,
out
so you're ready.
That she's dreaming about.
that I'm dreaming
You're
about.
dreaming about. Your dreams are valid.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, not for now. For now, we still, it still makes sense for us guys to be together. We still have a lot that we'd like to do together and a lot that we'd like to accomplish together. So for now, no. And as Brian has said, We have gone through very many tough times together, and we've gone through very many good times together, both internally and just as a brand. So for now, it makes sense.
Okay.
It makes sense for now, and
to stay together.
Exactly.
Okay,
We don't
now-
see
And
anything.
plus we have goals and,
with the
and
exactly.
dreams
And a vision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without the vision, you
Now
can't.
let's talk about those bad times, because all we see is the good, the good, the good. What's the worst time you guys have had as a group? Are there times you've sat down and thought, you know what?
Man, I have a good one.
Let me tell you.
I have a good one.
Let me tell you, we have been through a lot. And when I say a lot, you can imagine.
It's not
we
just
are all,
cliche.
We are all in school. We don't have the money. All the money that we've saved for 2 years has been taken away by a producer. We just got dropped by our label. Like, it doesn't get any worse.
You know,
You know?
it's actually, as Brian rushes through the bad times, because there are so many that if we were to discuss
It's
them,
a whole show on its
it
own.
would have been a whole show. But exactly what Brian said. We saved money. We were in school. We saved money. We were tricked by a producer. He stole the money and disappeared with our music as well. So you have to start over. There's no money to start over. When you're in the process of trying to start over, our record label dropped us. So now you're stuck
Back
by
to
yourself.
ground zero.
Yeah.
Zero, 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 zero. And the thing is, we'd already, and this is, I think, the mistake we made. We had already told everybody that our
Yeah.
album is coming in December, and now everything is gone.
How did you shake yourselves off that?
I think, honestly, what we did, and it's good that you asked, did we ever have that sit down and have a conversation about, like, this is too much? We honestly decided, and it's a story many people don't know, we sat down and said, on the 6th of December, we are going to launch this album, like, come hell or high
Yeah.
water. And after that, I'm going to go and be a lawyer.
It's a wrap.
Brian is going to be a
That was
lawyer.
it's a wrap.
And
Yeah.
it was a wrap. And we had genuinely decided, because we've started this journey, and my
Let's
mom
finish.
always calls herself a finisher. Let's finish it. Let's just do the
One
one
album.
thing. Let's do one thing. Let's have an album. And we did everything we could to get that one album and decided that this was going to be our last show. But the day of that show, I don't even understand how it happened. The day of that show, we got up in the morning at like 4 a.m. We were packing albums ourselves because we had no money to hire anyone to pack them. And we took them in a carton in the boot of my mom's car to the event, which was at the Alliance Francaise. And we prayed and we went backstage. And no one had shown up by like 7 p.m. No
Yeah.
one was there. And I tell you, the tears were like,
Balancing.
you know,
tears.
it's like,
Yeah.
it was right there.
How long ago was this?
Oh, it
That
was
was 2013.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at that
And,
point, it is what it is.
Yeah,
I mean, you've
exactly.
done
And
what
we
you-
were giving
what
up.
you can do.
And we went backstage to change, and we said, you know what, this is, I mean, it's
the
the final
final-
song. It's the final curtain. And for some reason, between the time it took for us to go backstage and to change, Alliance filled to capacity. They were turning people away at the
Around,
door.
yeah.
It was like an actual physical miracle. Like, I've
Yeah.
never seen anything
That
like
was
that
Jesus.
happen
Yeah.
in my life.
He just came
And
through
That's how
for
it
you.
looks like.
and that was day one. That's,
Yeah.
And we said, you know what, it's obviously, it's ordained, it's a purpose. It's,
Yeah.
we're meant
So
to be
what
here.
would you say that was a turning point for you in terms of, okay, we still have
We can
something,
still do
a
this.
message that
It
we need to
definitely.
definitely was.
because-
It was the one thing that we needed to reassure us that, you know what, this is just the beginning. It
Yeah.
might look tough. It might not make sense. It might not even, you have zero idea of how you're going to, what you're going to do the next day. But for some reason, and this is what we keep saying all the time, we go through things that we don't even understand how we got out of them, but we truly do believe that it's God that keeps us together, because, I mean, how can you have invested all that money, gone ahead and taken a loan to finish your album, only to get to the venue and there's no one to sell to because it's empty.
It's completely
And then you
empty.
go backstage to change and do hair and makeup. And then once you come, when the MC goes like, ladies and gentlemen, Elani, you come out, the place is full.
Yeah.
Come on.
Miracles still do happen.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
happen.
we're going to talk about your collab with Jaguar, and this is the song Sirudi, but let's listen to the song first, then we can come to the details of this particular one. In case you've not watched it, here is Sirudi.
Wacha miniende, nimechoka sana. Baki usiende, nisamehe mama. Nitazame, useme unayosema. Kisha yanena, ujue minaenda. Wajifanya hodari, nimekusoma, wewe si hatari.
it, and apologies there. The song seems to be having a little bit of scratches there, which we apologize for. I'm sure that's not the way the song sounds, but the challenge here is going to be, maybe you'll sing us the chorus live as we get to the end. So I'm giving you time to prepare. So just prepare yourselves for that. But
I
now
feel
tell
like
me
that was planned. Like that was a plan. Like,
No, you can't tell them that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they were not supposed to know that it was planned. But anyway, here we go. And tell me about the collab with Jaguar. How did that work out?
We had an idea. You know, we've been watching the news for a while now, and there's been so much abuse, like physical abuse, domestic violence everywhere. It's constantly there, and we had this idea to write a song about it because we are those people who believe in bringing about change, and this is a very sensitive issue that has been there, and people shy away from talking about it. So us as Elani we came together with Jaguar. We shared the idea with him, and he felt it was a good idea, a strong idea, and we are driven enough to want to start the conversation with people, you know, telling them, you know, you should not shy away from talking about it because you're an individual. If you're suffering, there is help. You can get help. So stand up, talk about it. Us as Elani, we have decided to talk about it with Jaguar, you know, so very many people in very many relationships are suffering in silence, and we're just here to tell them that, you know what, enough is enough.
Enough is enough. And music is revolutionary. I mean, if you look at here, I hope you didn't
no, it
revolutionary.
was correct. It was correct.
You're affecting me. But looking at South Africa, for instance, coming out of the apartheid regime, and the songs they sing are very deep, what do you see as the objective for now, a song like this, given that you're talking about domestic violence?
I mean, I can't even begin to capture that answer properly because we would think that this is a matter that only affects, you know, our parents or people a bit older than us. But statistics actually show that people as young as 20, 21, 22 are experiencing such abuse. So this is not only it's not out of reach for us as the youth. It's happening to us. I mean, when we say 40% of women are being affected by this, it also includes those people who are just in campus,
Right.
trying to get an education and also a social life. And in the middle of all that, they get to be abused at such a young age. And I remember we were at an interview early this week, and one person was just commenting that there's this one time she was in USIU, and they were in the bus. And as they were in the bus trying to go home, this guy beats up the girlfriend and pushes the lady out of the bus. I mean, surely speaking, this is something that we
In this
must...
day and age.
Yes.
Yeah, because
In very urban areas where we think, I mean, these things are
They
for
don't really-
those people.
Yeah.
It's not for those people. This thing honestly does cut across. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. It doesn't matter if you're, you know...
Old or young,
It
it cuts
honestly
across
just
the
cuts
whole.
across. And we need
And
to
of course, there's also an increase in domestic abuse towards males.
Yes.
It's not
Yes.
just women, so it
Exactly.
really cuts across.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what would you want to achieve with a song like this?
The thing about what our job is as musicians, my job is to create awareness. And that's what we're hoping that we do, because too many people shy away from talking about it. Too many people, for example, when this song came out, have written to us to tell us, I was too scared to say, but today
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about it. Because our job is to inspire, and our job is to motivate and to change the world. That's what our job is. And our hope is that through this song particularly, and through the campaigns that are going to follow next week and onwards, that we can remove the stigma that the victim has. Because that's the problem. The problem is keeping it quiet and continuing to be hit, male or female, continuing to be hit in your home
And
and
they're
shutting
suffering.
it down and putting makeup on your face and covering your bruises. And I mean, enough of that. You know, let's talk about
It's
it.
about
and
time to have
get
the
help.
conversation.
Exactly. So we decided to partner with GVRC, the Gender Violence Recovery Center. And if you go to any of our social media pages, their contacts are right there. And what we decided to do is, because we don't have the professional knowledge to help people, all we have is the ability to create awareness. So what we are doing is bringing people to our social media to connect them to
Yeah.
professional therapists and counselors and people who can help them get out of a situation like that.
Okay. And generally speaking, how is it working with Jaguar? I mean, he's also a big name and, you know, has been in the industry for a long time. Were there hitches?
No, not really. Jaguar is a very hardworking artist. And what people don't know, he's very, very he's very, very driven and very passionate about things that he does. Like even any song that he does, he's in it 300%, because he kept pushing us. Ngome imeisha, haijaisha, soon to me your track, you know? So he's very, very driven, and once we shared the vision about what we wanted to do, he immediately jumped on board, and he's a very, very good guy, very talented, very humble, and he pushes anything that can change anyone's life. He will push.
Still works quite hard.
Definitely.
All
He
right.
has that influence, that positive influence.
Okay.
He's also
What other-
funny. He's
He also has a
very
sense of
funny
humor.
guy.
Yes, I can attest to that. All right. Other collabos that we should expect, maybe with Elani, is anything in the works?
We have so much content coming your way, but for now, the main focus is SIRUDI, because I sit here with Elani speaking about this, because I want to speak for that person, that man who's not confident enough to talk about it. I want to speak for that lady who's out there watching this interview. I want to tell her that we are here to help. So stand up, talk, give us your story. Even be it anonymously, we shall share the story, create the conversation, and let's just move mountains and get the big elephant out of the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And because of time, we'll have to wind up. And I still want to give you a chance to give us that chorus live, because we want to hear whether you guys just record. Maybe it's just tracks that play. Although I'm sure I'd be killed for that, because I know there are those who've listened. But let's Wamboi. I know if I asked you if you know what's going on in your personal life, the Lord Jesus Christ is your personal Savior.
We're good, you know,
You still
it's
have a
good.
relationship with Him. But yeah.
And we all continue to have a relationship.
And you all continue
Amen.
to have a... Is there anybody else that you're having a relationship with?
For
apart
now,
from-
we are channeling everything through Jesus, and once
music.
the music.
And the music.
Once he makes
So
us
there is no one?
Once he makes us aware, we will
So
let
there
you
is
know.
no one.
No, once he makes us aware, we will let you know.
You've practiced this several times.
Yeah. Best
Because
believe.
I have enough
Trust
questions
and
here.
believe.
The other question is for Brian, and that is to do with somebody's asking, do you
Yeah.
ever feel intimidated being with such powerful women?
Not really.
Sitting between them.
Not
Tell
really,
us.
man. They make me look good. You know, everyone, they actually make me look good. They're my two flowers. So anywhere you see me, I actually look so good. But
And for
they're-
real, you do.
Yeah,
We can swap. You still wanted to sit here. You can't sit there.
Watch how we finish the interview. But for real, they are brilliant women, and I'm just happy. They're good creatives who push me to the next level. They make me a better person, and I love them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Maureen, anything your personal life, is there somebody apart from Jesus Christ who has been
First-
your Savior?
I'd like to thank whoever this is who called us powerful women. That's nice.
No, you are for real.
No, I think just really, if there's anything that I would share, it's honestly that this particular song and this campaign are very, very close to my heart and to Brian's heart and to Wamboi's heart. And even if, I mean, we ourselves have seen, granted, not, thank goodness, we have not experienced these things ourselves, but I mean, you've seen it. You have friends, aunts, family members who you've seen go through such things. And honestly, I think that it's time to talk about
Do you struggle to talk about your personal lives? Is it sometimes something that you think about and think, no, I don't want to go there?
No, not really. I mean, what Wamboi always says, which is true, is if there is anyone in my life, especially romantically, they didn't ask for this to be there. Like, I asked.
No,
You know,
but technically they do.
They
They
didn't.
do, because they take you as a package. They take you as you are.
No.
That's no,
They love
signed
you
up,
as you are.
They signed up for me.
Yeah.
Me, the things
As
I
you
like,
are.
the foods I
for
like to
KTN and
eat,
Sunday.
the perfumes I like to wear, you know, the choice of jewelry I'd like to wear. That's what they signed up for. They didn't sign up for KTN and
Yeah.
Morning Express, all right? They don't, I don't think they would like for their business to be all over this area.
It's not
Also, they
it's
do
your
this,
business.
that.
It's not theirs. Ni
Uh-uh.
business yako, we
It's
are.
not fair to them. I signed up for it. They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't.
And so it's unfair to put them in that position where
Okay.
they have to experience the things that I experienced, to be written in the blogs where, oh, Diamond and Maureen were seen, oh, da-da-da-da-da, yet she just went to Dar es Salaam and went for a few interviews and, oh, Diamond, you know.
Diamond.
It doesn't, it
And plus, it
doesn't
was
work
the
like
focus
that.
from the music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's
Which
stick
is
to
the
the
main
music,
focus.
and that's where we're going to wrap it up. So let's have now the chorus as we wind up.
Oh, you know what we're going to sing for you to make it nice and light? I think My Darling. My Darling is a nice light.
I like
I am, for me, a cappella any day. Any song is good.
Okay.
Okay. You're my darling,
Tenzi mwana mama, kweli nakupenda sana sana. Honey, Tenzi mwana mama, penda sana sana, nakupenda sana sana. You're my
Sweet baby.
you're my only baby. You're my KTN Morning Express. You're my
Standing ovation.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Elani. It's been a pleasure having you
you.
guys. I wish we had
Thanks,
longer
Elani.
time, but thank you so much for coming. We
you.
appreciate. We're wishing you all the best in all the
you.
projects that you have, and we love you.
Thank you. Love
That's where we're going to wind up Morning Express this morning. Thank you for staying with us this morning. But don't go away on KTN News. We've got World View coming up next.